Pan, I'm standing outside New Zealand's largest sports stadium here in Auckland, where the opening match of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup kicks off in 5 hours' time. And that's despite a shooting incident in downtown Auckland that, as you say, left 3 people dead, including the gunman. The shooting took place on a construction site right next to the hotel where the Norwegian team was staying ahead of tonight's opening match with New Zealand, and the players were forced into a lockdown until the incident was over. A nearby football fan zone was also cordoned off and closed to protect people from the drama, which involved a man shooting his workmates with a pump-action shotgun. However, the Prime Minister has now reassured everyone that it was an isolated incident and that there was no threat to national security. The gunman has been identified as a 24-year-old who has had a history of domestic violence, and the police commissioner said he wounded an officer before he was shot and killed by the police. Chris Hipkins, the Prime Minister, says that he consulted with FIFA officials throughout this incident, and the organisers have agreed that tonight's opening ceremony and the first match will go ahead as planned, although there will be an increased police present in the area to make sure that everyone feels safe, Pan.
Well, Owen, we have to talk about the timing of this shooting. As you just mentioned, this year's FIFA Women's World Cup will kick off in several hours. Now, you've seen beefed up security. Will that be the constant story during the tournament? And how are spectators feeling about this incident?
Well, obviously, the whole world is watching New Zealand for the start of this important tournament, and this morning's shooting was naturally a big distraction and a shock to everyone before it was better understood what had really happened. Fortunately, the shooting has not had any impact on the World Cup, which is being jointly hosted by 2 countries, Australia and New Zealand, for the very first time. Tonight's opening ceremony will feature popular singers from both countries, as well as cultural performances. And New Zealand's opening match has attracted a sellout crowd of almost 40,000 people. Australia will also play their first game tonight, 3 hours after New Zealand, in Sydney, before a record crowd of around 70,000 people. The 2023 World Cup features an expanded format of 32 teams, which will play a total of 64 matches in 9 different cities. And FIFA says it's sold close to 1.4 million tickets. That's a record which breaks the previous highest total in Canada in 2015. China happens to play its first game against Denmark this Saturday in the western city of Perth. And then the team has to fly more than 2,000 miles east to Adelaide, where they'll play their second pool game against Haiti on Friday. Not surprisingly, the United States are the overwhelming favourites to win this competition. But we're going to have to wait until the final in Sydney in a month's time to discover who'll be the next world champions, Pan.